Hey there everybody, I was requested again by another YouTuber to do another school related video, and this one is going to be tips for college freshmen. You know, you're just starting out, you're leaving high school, what should you expect about being a freshman in college? Now the person who requested this, I hope I'm saying your name correctly, and if not, I'm going to put your name in the down bars so people will know that you requested me. And I believe the name is pronounced blahlisy. I hope I said that right. So let's just get into this lovely video I'm about to do. Or I'm doing. First, as a freshman, you will most likely be living on campus, living in a dorm, and if not, you live not too far away from the campus and you'll commute. And I should actually probably talk about commuting also. Let me quickly jot that down. Commuting to college. Okay. So like I said, the whole freshman dorms, you're living with someone else, which could be a little bit hard simply if you've never lived with anyone before like myself. Now, I have an interesting story with my first roommate, but I'm not even going to go there because I've put that behind me and I've been like, ugh, it's not even worth it anymore to even discuss it. I don't want to say most likely you probably won't get along with your first roommate, but I know at the college I went to a ton of people were moving out and moving in with new people. I will tell you all this much. At first we got along, then we didn't. She got out, I got a new roommate, and she and we still communicate. Awesome girl, love her to death, and that was the end of that. I will mention this. As a freshman, even if you're a sophomore, junior, senior, this is for everybody in college. Moving in and moving out is going to be hectic. I was in a dorm with one elevator, literally one of the slowest elevators on campus, and it was just ridiculous. I swear there were 15 of us or more moving out that day. It was just ridiculous. So you have to be patient during move-in day and move-out day. Moving in, you're excited to be going to college. Moving out, you just want to get the heck out of there. And then when you're a sophomore like me, you just can't wait to go back. So yeah. Also, with the dorms, packing for college. Don't overdo it. Most likely the dorms are really little, really tiny. Just make sure you bring what you know you need. And even if you bring something that you realize you didn't need, you could probably just send it back with your parents. For all of you freshmen out there, I'm going to let you all know about a little website that I didn't find out about until after, or about it's about a couple weeks or so into my first semester. And it's this lovely website called RateMyProfessor.com. And it's a really neat website because you can find your college, you can go in and you can search the teachers that you would probably want to have, or you could just search like English and look at all the teachers they have and all the other stuff. And that's actually a beautiful thing about being in college. You actually get to pick who your professors are going to be. And with the Rate by Professor, you get to go in and previous students who had that professor have written comments about the professor, about their teaching style, what you can expect, if that teacher is good at teaching the material or if they're bad at teaching the material. And some people are really funny on that website because they'll flat out say, stay away, go away, don't even think about it, click out. It's really funny. And then that way you can get really good professors. Now, if you're like me, who was just stuck with interesting professors but still did good, then, you probably have nothing to worry about. And one last thing about Rate My Professor, it can also come in handy, especially when it comes to your textbooks, because guys, I'm not going to lie, textbooks are expensive as I don't know what. Even if you rent them, it's ridiculous how much textbooks cost. But Rate My Professor can come in handy because the previous students who've had the course can tell you if it's necessary to get the textbook or not get the textbook. If anything, I learned this throughout my freshman year. It may be best just to go to your classes first to decide on what you should purchase and what you shouldn't purchase, because the professor may put online that you need something, but then in class they may tell you that you really just don't need it. So there's really no point in wasting your money and purchasing it. I just remembered something that I didn't write down, but I do want to mention. If you're not a morning person, which is nice because you know how high school you started off early, you can actually pick what time you want your first class to start. Me, I don't know how I can do it, but although I am sick and tired of 8 a.m. classes, getting up early wasn't too difficult for me. Now, some people might start their morning at 11 a.m. or even some may even start at 1. You may even have classes on, this is just an example, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday, and have nothing on Thursday. It all depends on how you work your schedule out and how your major is and the kind of credits that you want for your next semester, or your first semester in your case. More than likely, when you go to your college orientation, they're going to give you a whole bunch of papers, things that you have to sign, additional fees. Trust me, college is going to suck the life out of your wallet, or your parents' wallet, or whoever is paying for your college or education. But when I mentioned the papers and the orientation, pay very close attention to what you can bring to college and what you can't bring to college. I don't think, to my knowledge, that I know they said that we couldn't bring candles, and did they say we couldn't bring plants? But we could bring fish. I don't know, but I know we can't have like any gerbils or anything running around the place. So you have to make sure what is it that you can bring, what it is that you can't bring. I really wasn't going to do this in this video, but if you guys want me to kind of do another one about things that I even brought with me to college, or organizational tips or tricks or something, I'll do that too, but this is just something I'm randomly putting together. You know how in high school where your teachers would kind of remind you of things all the time and you kind of were like, okay, I get it, but then it gets close to that date and you're like, oh dear, I haven't done that yet. Well, in college, more than likely you aren't going to be reminded every single day. Well, for the most part, you probably aren't even going to see a professor every single day. I see some professors only twice a week, or even some of the others 3 times a week. So I highly recommend, if anything, having a dry erase board to write on. I didn't have one, but I know I'm going to purchase one for my sophomore year. But I always had a planner, and my planner was filled to the brim with little things I needed to remember, things I needed to do, if I needed to ever go see my advisor, all this other stuff. So have a planner, stay organized so that you don't get caught in something. Because if you have an 8-page paper due, or even more than an 8-page paper, and it's due on Thursday and you haven't started on it and it's like Tuesday or even Wednesday because you forgot, you don't want that to happen. It never happened to me, but you just don't want it to happen to you. Next, professors, which I've been talking about. I talked about RateMyProfessor, all that. However, you need to remember that some professors are very understanding and some aren't. Some will understand that you're having family issues, others won't. And that goes into a cell phone topic. How like in high school, they didn't want cell phones out in the open. They needed to be silent and in your bag, but we all know we all text message in class secretly. However, the thing about college professors mainly is that a lot of them are just laid back. If you have to go to the bathroom, get up and go. If you're having an emergency, get up and go. Now with the cell phone thing, I can understand the cell phone needs to be put away, especially when you have like a quiz or a test. That's understandable. But I was in a class one time and my professor decided that she saw a cell phone, got up and took it away from that student. And the shocking thing about it is, not to be, well, I'm not being rude or anything. It kind of seems odd to me because it's like you're taking a cell phone away from, it's not like in high school where you're taking a cell phone away from a child, you're taking a cell phone away from an adult. And that goes into another thing. Just remember this, when you go to college, more than likely, everyone in your class is not going to be your age. For example, high school. like when I was 16, there were like 15-year-olds, 16-year-olds, maybe a 17-year-old splashed in. But now that you're in college, for example, I was 18 when I started college, and there were people who were 30, 40, even 50 years old. No, there was one lady I think who was like 54, 57. She was in my statistics class, and I knew she was older. I didn't think she was that old, but you need to remember that it's a new experience. I mean, you're going to have people in your class who are older. You're going to have people in your class who probably have grandchildren. But they're just students. They're learning like you are. They probably don't understand the material any more than you do. So, hey. Oh, and it's really cool actually when you're talking to them because you kind of find out all sorts of little wisdom from the older people. So it's pretty cool. Oh, this is a really, really big one. If you're a freshman or a sophomore or whatever and you're commuting to college and your college is on like a crazy like road or something, and I have so much to talk about with this. There were so many people I went to college with who were either unable to make it to their courses because of accidents or because of the weather, and the campus didn't cancel because of really heavy rain, flooding conditions, or even snow. I remember one time it flooded and I walked to class still, rain boots and everything. And I mean, we're talking water almost going into my rain boots. And I was in a class of 35 people, only 10 of us showed up. I did get extra credit for showing up, but we didn't have class or anything. And that's another thing I want to go into. Most times, if you have a morning class and conditions are very bad, or if your teacher and everything, of course, is driving to college, and you're all able to, and you receive emails and warnings and stuff, most times, now this is my personal experience, most of the times, when it comes to the emails especially, and you have a morning class, and something bad is happening, and you don't get that email and you're headed out of your dorm to your class and you find out class is canceled, that really irks my nerves and everybody else's nerves, trust me. And then you have a teacher who you have an 8 a.m. class with, they get sick, but they don't tell you until like 8:15, and you're all sitting there wondering where the heck the teacher's at, and someone fortunately has a laptop and is able to look at their email like, oh, we don't have class today. Hello? That just gets on my last nerve. So be prepared for that also. I also mentioned this in my high school freshman tips video, but I'm going to mention it in this one as well. Be careful who you hang out with. I know in college you're like, oh, this newfound freedom, and you just want to hang out with your friends and just experience being an adult for the first time. But don't overdo it. Don't do stupid stuff. Just be careful who you're hanging out with. Be aware of your surroundings, especially on a college campus at night, especially if you live on one where it's not gated in. Anyone can get on the campus. Be very careful. Ladies, have some... Where is it? Oh, here's my purse. Hold up a second. I carry this with me. My parents got this for me, and I highly recommend. Have yourself some mace, pepper spray, or just something. Mine is the triple action defense spray. So I carry this around with me on campus, especially if I'm like walking around at night. Even to go get something to eat, I have this with me just in case. Because people are crazy and you never know what's going to happen. And I don't want anything bad to happen to any of you out there, trust me. Okay, I really wasn't as organized with this video. I just hope I probably have a lot more that I could talk about. So this video may eventually, the title of it, I might edit it later on if I do figure out something else to put with it. This would be the part 1, and if I ever come up with a part 2, then I'll make a part 2 to this. There's probably tons of stuff that I probably forgot about being a freshman. However, I'll just leave y'all with those little tidbits, those fun little facts. and hopefully, blahlisy, I hope I said that right, you enjoyed this video, and anyone else who runs by this. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and anyone else who runs by this video, I hope you enjoyed it too. Take care and have a great day. Bye. Make sure that you go to all of your classes. I know there's this whole thing about college kids just sleeping in and all this other stuff. Believe it or not, I never missed a single one of my classes. I got up, I went to class, I said, you know what, my parents are spending all this money for me to go to college. I'm not going to waste it and sleep in and be lazy just because I either don't like the teacher, don't like the material I'm learning. I'm still going to get my butt up and go to class. So please, go to class. Thank you.